Hello. So since we are talking about the history about many things about OW2, and this presentation has a little bit of the history of Rocket.Chat since we are one of the latest members to join and how it came to be. So if anyone doesn't know what Rocket.Chat is an open source platform for chat, sharing files, creating groups, channels, private conversations, video conference, everything built on JavaScript with MIT license. We first started creating Rocket.Chat because I have another company that does a CRM tool and some websites for clients, and they always keep asking us to do one of those annoying pop-ups on the website so they could talk to their customers. And we're trying to find something open source that we could use, that could integrate into our CRM, and we couldn't find something that was flexible or was using the right technology for real-time conversation without being very heavy on the server or was too messy to install the moving parts. So I ended up building one. And we decided it was so good that, okay, let's make it open source. Let's get other people to share and point the fingers on everything that we've done wrong, because we didn't have much experience on building a real-time application at that time. But what happened is, because nobody usually pays you to turn something to open source, that's just stayed on our repository for about half a year with nobody promoting or giving a name or writing a manual, until I received an email or for a forum. That's Meteor Forum is the framework that you use, JavaScript. And there's this group saying, oh, it would be awesome if we build an open source version of Slack. And then we in the office were, okay, we already built it. We just forgot to publish, or didn't get around to actually give it a show to people. So we had some conversations if they want to join our team, help us, or we help them. And then in the end, they proposed, why don't you do a friendly competition, see who can build the best Slack, open source version of Slack. So I just bought a lot of Red Bull, and then I put all the team in the office and say, okay, nobody leaves until this is out and we can show the world something. So then Rocket.Chat was born on that night. And on the next 2 days, we were featured in Hacker News and Product Hunt for the whole day. This is the spike. You can see like the 28th is when we launched the website, and then almost like 30 hours later, it was being downloaded everywhere. And just apart from melting our servers, like they were just crashing because everybody wanted to see the demo, and there was about thousands of people like logging in our demo server. But then the good thing is people were actually looking at the code and telling us, oh, you're doing this wrong, maybe you can optimize here. We are seeing the server melt, so you could now definitely have the loads to see what we were doing wrong. But then that week, we became one of the trending projects of that week, and we stayed on GitHub top trending project for over a month. And then there was StackShare was sending emails talking about Rocket.Chat, and then Heroku put us on the cover saying it was one of the feature apps to do a one-click deploy. And then the Docker community created an official image to put on their library because so many people were asking to have an easy way to deploy. And then the thing, Rocket.Chat almost got a life of its own, and then you got the guys from GitHub that do the Electron helping us to build an Electron app for Rocket.Chat, the desktop version, and then they put on their website was built with Electron. And also have mobile developers starting to contribute and build the mobile apps. So it was quite a journey, that something that was like nothing happened for 6 months, and then when we decided to show and put it out there, it just completely changed my life and the life of the whole company. It got translated to now I think we have 45 languages. We added the video capabilities using WebRTC, and then we are very engaged with the GitHub guys. We're saying, oh, you guys have to now build all the integrations, and why don't you use our Hubot driver? So we built a Hubot driver, and internally then it's called the Rocket.Cat. But it's literally just the Hubot source code compiled inside our our platform. So you can actually, rather than having to start a bot in a different server and then connect to it, you can still do that, obviously. For many reasons, you might want to still do that. But for a simple script, you can just go to the admin area, paste the script, and it will run that on a virtual JavaScript machine, and then you have access to all the Node.js libraries, and then you can easily extend your capabilities of your chat application is doing. Here are some samples. People are building a way that inside the conversation you could ask the bot to get a file, so you could even do a commit from inside the conversation, change a file, do a pull request from directly inside the same UI. So then something that was quite organically, we started to realize that we were building something more than we initially anticipated. We were kind of thinking that we were building the WordPress of chats. And that was our vision for a while. We started to see a lot of people sending links where they were deploying Rocket.Chat, from the Bernd Sanders campaign to the Deutsche Bahn, or even this AEB one, which is the Brazilian NASA, the space agency in Brazil. And then even like they sent us a picture once, like the two rockets together. And you start seeing like the Hyperledger from the Linux Foundation. Lots of different open source projects starting to use Rocket.Chat as the tool for the community to collaborate and discuss. But also like large organizations like the Deutsche Bahn, where they wanted to, they didn't want to have Slack because they wanted to have all their conversations from their teams on their own data centers. And we worked with them to create a way that they could quickly, we built a tool called the Rocket.Chat Launcher, when they can deploy it internally and have almost as a service, they could quickly create a team and invite users and deploy for that specific business unit or part of the organization. And that's now they have on their catalog of applications they can deploy internally. But we also worked with a lot of companies that this is Deutsche Bahn as well. We worked to create different services, almost like white labels versions of Rocket.Chat with a specific purpose. So just using the platform and all the features that it already has, and then building this extra functionality on top. On this one, we integrated for them with Twilio, and with German artificial intelligence processor, a natural language processor. So people traveling on Deutsche Bahn rails, their customers could text a number. It would go inside Rocket.Chat that would pipe that message to the artificial intelligence, get the intent, and then use that intent object to search on their schedule database on Google, on TripAdvisor, and many other data sources, and then produce 5 replies that their support team could use. They could then just click in one of them. It would pre-populate the text field, and they could, if they press send, it will send back the information using the same gate, the same streaming where the message came from. So if someone sent a message from inside the app, it could reply from inside the app. If someone sent an SMS, Rocket.Chat would know that it needs to send back as an SMS. If it was an email that came through a channel, then we reply back of an email. So it just became their single point of contact and reduced their response time for, it was kind of like 10 minutes because it was a long way before and everything was done manually on the prototype, to like under 30 seconds for people to have a meaningful reply revised by a real person and not just a electronic reply. And then you have customers. We build this one is configure where channels are called classrooms, and this is specific for university. So there's a startup in US that built this specific, like reshaping the whole UI, thinking about students and teachers and each classes and matters. We built another one for, this is a Stockable is a trade company, I think it's Sweden. And then all the conversation, every time it talks about a company or specific stock, the bots will show you graphics or give you options what to do. So it kind of, the bot gets into the conversation, but not just on the stream of the conversation. It has a whole panel on the right that it could build on top of Rocket.Chat to show more information and give, I don't know, actually do a service on top of the conversation. This one is specifically for hospitals. It was featured in TechCrunch Disrupt, the guys from Y Combinator. And this is specifically for hospital. Then they turn, each channel became a patient. So whenever a new patient got into the hospital, they would receive like a patient number. They would create a channel, would automatically invite the doctor and all the machines that would do the exams, X-ray, and I don't know, they would post the results back to that channel. So the doctor would be in the channel, and if one or two doctors are in the same channel of that patient, they will receive everything in real time. They could also already comment straight away on the result, discuss it. So they create a whole company that's based on a Rocket.Chat as a platform, and then they customize for a specific industry. And then that's how, for a while, we were maintaining the company, doing this feature development, white labeling, and doing integrations. And that's something that we still do, and still something that we can talk about if you have an idea for a specific industry that you want to work. But then we kept going to events, talking about Rocket.Chat, building a community, inviting to do a keynote of opening in OW2con in London with Mark. And that started to call attention of VCs. We were like being featured in other conventions, and then and our GitHub repository is now about getting to about 13,000 stars, and then we have about 100,000 servers already deployed from the ones you can track, and it's about 2,000 new deployments per week. And yeah, and our Docker image, the official one, has been downloaded over 1 million times already. So eventually we call attention of American big VC, New Enterprise Associates. I didn't know who those guys were before. Maybe you guys already know, but just in case, they're guys, some of the companies that they funded is Elasticsearch, MongoDB, Pentaho, Sonatype, Solid Sourcefire, Sugar CRM. This is the open source ones that the partner who invested on us was on the board and helped grow. They did over like 350 mergers and acquisitions and over 200 IPOs. So they are a fairly large organization. They came to us and say, okay, we'll give you $5 million now for you guys to focus on getting the product better. We want you to keep it open source, grow the community, and move to a business model that scales now, not just doing service of white labeling and integration. So you're going now, that's what you're doing. We're rebuilding our whole website, documentation. We built a deploy tool on the cloud of a SaaS offering. So if someone wants to do a zero knowledge deploy, you just go there, put your name and email, and then you have your team. We partnered with Google to, they start having more Google, on the Google Summer of Code, paying 4 developers for us to help do more on the encryption side and on the some of the other features. And we're doing a new UI that's coming soon on the, I think on the next release, you're already gonna see a much improved UI. So if you guys have already tested the current one, there's a new one coming out that's gonna be much more polished. And then we also built some native apps now, because the apps that we have there before were hybrid apps made in Cordova. But we figured that after trying for quite some time, we decided that to have the right user experience and performance, we were going to build some native apps. So those are in beta already. And then we also build the platform to be deployed anywhere in any platform, almost like from a Raspberry Pi to a Windows server or a Linux server or a Mac server, literally to be able to run anywhere in any cloud as well. So you have scripts to deploy on Amazon, on DigitalOcean, or any SaaS or snaps to do on Ubuntu and a few other Linux distributions. And then the way we are planning to monetize or to scale our business model, we are looking into chat applications as this paradigm shift, as it was from desktop clients to browser websites, now smartphones and apps. And then we are seeing more and more is these chat applications becoming the interface where we talk to services as they are bots, they interface with you. And a good example, if you ever seen, is WeChat in China. The Wall Street Journal is the one who actually produced this picture, and I thought it was quite interesting because they showed a day of a person, and they hold through the whole day without even changing the app, because they find the guy to come and clean the dog on the WeChat. They pay using the WeChat. Then they transfer money to put on their investment account on WeChat. They call a cab on WeChat. Then they go to see a friend. They go to a restaurant and they get the menu on WeChat. They choose what they want to buy rather than talking to a waitress on WeChat. And then they pay the bill on WeChat. Do everything using different bots on those channels. But one of the reasons that they can do that in China, they have a really strong relationship with the government, and which they give almost unlimited access, and they have pretty much all the data almost from a Google plus Amazon plus Facebook plus they all combine into a single organization that holds all this data in China, and we don't want this to happen. So in some ways, okay, how are you telling us that you're going to build a platform where you have all these bots and everybody going to use it, but you don't want to be a gatekeeper? So our idea is, we're building now is this federation protocol inside. We're using a protocol that there is another organization building as well. It's called Matrix. And the idea is to interconnect all the chat servers in a similar way what you do with email. So there's no gatekeepers. You just have that protocol, have all those servers, and then you allow anyone to join, but no one has control over this network. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's finish. So we are building these plugins and add-ons and bots marketplace. So that's how we plan to monetize, and not on the platform itself. So yeah, our idea is now we realize that our vision became a bit bigger or more audacious. So we want to have the awesome UX that Slack has. We have zero investment to participate, and anyone will be able to join and even launch a team on our SaaS infrastructure. Also build a very large ecosystem of bots and services, but on an open source and optimized for flexibility platform with the federation of email. And then that's what we want Rocket.Chat to be. And we are getting there in many ways. So if you want to see a demo or more details, you can go to our website or can talk to me. I will be here today, tomorrow. And I'm happy to show on my computer if you have any questions.